Hello folks, this is a Sanda homage to a very old watch design. Now, I had a video up about this watch before and YouTube took it down. I got a counterfeit strike. Despite the fact that my video, like all of my videos, did not feature a counterfeit of any watch. What it did feature was this, which is a homage to a very old design from the early 20th century. This might give you a clue what, but I'm not going to say the name, just in case I get into trouble again. But this watch here is a classic, timeless design, and it's by a company called Sanda. Now these watches are, have a look here, ridiculously cheap. They have an alloy case, which helps bring the price down. They have a genuine leather strap, which in this case I believe is actually a genuine leather strap. They have a cabochon stone in the crown, which is probably plastic, but looks the part. And the case is made of chromed alloy, which is where they save the money. Anyway, this is an absolutely classic design, so much so it has been homaged incessantly for over 100 years now. Now I want to give you a couple of examples. There we have our Sanda. Here we have a Citizen Eco Drive. Beautiful thin watch. Perhaps a less faithful homage to the original, but you can see if that had a leather strap on it, it would look very similar. We also have this one here from Rotary. Now this Rotary watch is also a very close homage, mimicking the dial design very closely. Your Roman numerals in your rectangular case, the lugs being formed by the case, looking like the tracks of a well-known military vehicle. We won't allege that we're counterfeiting well-known military vehicles here. This, incidentally, is a brass case, which originally was chromed and looked very similar to this one, although nowadays they tend to use zinc alloys with the cases. So when the plating pitted, as they do, I removed the plating, polished it up, and aside from needing a little touch with Brasso every once in a while to keep it looking shiny, it's still a pretty watch. But enough about that, and enough about this. Let's talk about this beautiful little Sanda. Having problems getting this to focus because it's so small. Let's start by weighing the watch. Put it on the scale and we have 30 grams. This is a lightweight watch, not because it's made of titanium or anything like that, but because it has a leather strap and it's tiny. Now the size we'll explore in just a minute, but that's entirely in keeping with watches of the era which the original watch comes from. In the early 20th century, it was considered to be a sign of class that you can miniaturize a watch movement and make it smaller, because the early wristwatches from that time were simply pocket watches with lugs welded onto the sides of them to make early field watches. And to make something with the lugs integral to the case that's nice and slim and elegant was considered quite an achievement. Now watches have got bigger in the present day, but this is actually in line with the dimensions of some of the current iterations of this design from the original manufacturer. let's take these rather brutal calipers to this little beast. Now, I'm not going to do a diagonal because we're talking about a square case here, so it's not my usual measuring style, but it's 27.67 millimeters across. The thickness of the watch is 7.52 millimeters, and the lug to lug, we'll measure it on the outside, is, there we go, 33.777. The lug width is a useful 20.3 millimeters. A 20mm strap will fit on this no problem at all. The strap itself is a nice soft padded leather, and it's on a deployant clasp, which is a slightly unusual fashioning system, which I'll come on to in just a moment. Now, if you're curious about how the strap works, because I was, it took me a little bit to figure it out. What one does here is one folds the strap through the end of the deployant clasp here, and one folds it to size and then operates the deployant clasp like so. Not really sure why they went this way. I think it probably mimics one of the iterations on the original manufacturer's design, but I've also seen the originals with a traditional buckle, so not too sure about that. But that's how this works anyway. It folds over there, and that is how you fit the strap. Well, I hope you like this little homage to a watch which homages an armoured fighting vehicle, and also vies with people who go down in submarines for one of the most homaged watches in the world. At such a bargain price and such reasonable quality, this one is worth picking up just for the shits and giggles. No, Hamish, we can't afford any of the good treats, not until more viewers like, subscribe and comment on the videos. And then you can get the nice ones.